you will be amazed. Prime time interview with Derrick Hayes. Prime time, biggest names in the game. Prime time, new names to love the same.
Yes, y'all. Positive day. Prime time. The M is small and the M is silent because in life, the smaller things will quietly lead you to the bigger opportunities. I go by the name of the Untitled. Follow me on all social media platforms at Untitled and even on Cash App. Today, the day I guess comes from the A, the letter A. That is the beginning. That means she's winning. Atlanta, Georgia. Hot Atlanta. ATL. We get the welcome from Chavonne D. Stewart.
Hello.
You know the D, without even knowing what the D stands for, I already found out. It stands for diversity. She's a diversity expert. She is the founder of DNA Diversity. Check her website out at DNAofdiversity.com and also on social media at DNA of Diversity. How you doing today, Miss Stewart?
I'm doing well, Mr. Hayes. How are you?
I'm great. It's a blessing to receive your lesson.
All right now. It's a blessing to be in your presence.
Yes. Once again, we have Chavonne D. Stewart, diversity expert from the great city of Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes,
She's the founder of DNA of Diversity. Check out her website, DNAofdiversity.com. And you can follow her on all social media channels at DNA of Diversity, at DNA of Diversity. It's a blessing. Is anything special going on in your life that you want to announce before we get into this interview?
Well, like you were sharing with the people, I just launched DNA of Diversity 2 weeks ago. So I'm excited about that. It's been a journey. It's been a process, but that's the launching. Now I got to do the next step. I got to keep it going. So I'm excited about that. You know, you having an entrepreneurial spirit since a young child, you know, you've tried different things and now you feel like, okay, God, this is the one. This is what you really want me to do. So I just know that it's about to blow up and I'm excited about it.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. So today we're going to use the word ladder.
Okay.
You talking about blowing up. In order to blow up, you got to go up, right?
That's true.
You know, you got to have the time, like the watch. You got to have the time.
Yes.
Time to climb. You got to climb the ladder.
Yes.
We're going to get into it.
Okay.
For leadership. And, I did my research. How did you become a leader? And how has it helped you climb the ladder of success?
You know, when I saw that question, I got tickled because I said, everybody want to ask you this question, but I'm the oldest. So I guess you could say I already had certain qualities of a leader, just simply being the oldest child. I was always responsible. I'll tell anybody, I never really had a lot of friends my age. I was always around the older group of people. So that my maturity level was developed early on. So, I just take the initiative. I was always independent, but my parents raised us that way. They raised us to stand on our own. They raised us to be responsible adults. So those are characteristics that a leader should possess. So I kind of already had that. And then, finally getting involved in the church, I just took the initiative. And so people saw things in me that I really didn't see in myself. Because, at the time, you're not thinking, oh, I'm a leader. You just do what you got to do to survive. But people saw more in me than a lot of times than I saw in myself. And then when I got the call to become a minister in the church, I was like, oh my gosh, this is putting me on a whole nother platform that I wasn't expecting. But just that I kept remembering the story of Saul when God said obedience is better than sacrifice. I just said, okay, I got to do it. I got to be obedient. And then from there, it has grown. I've grown as a leader, and God has allowed me to start to examine other leaders, watching how they, act in their respective roles. And so that's what I'm a leader, but then God gave me a passion for leaders.
Okay, I appreciate that. The A is for author. You know, I see that you're an author.
Yes.
Tell us about your books and have you written? Tell us about the books that you have written and how they help others.
Okay. I have written 5 books.
And also how they can order them as well.
Okay. I've written 5 books. 3 of them are children's series called The Adventures of Amelia Rose, and Amelia is spelled Amilya. Amelia Rose was developed from childhood experiences, and so I based those 3 books on, my childhood. It was something. The first book is called The Lie. I wanted to write that as early as the age of 6 because it was an event that I actually did in life, and I wanted to tell that story. The other book is called In Him Affirmations: Who I Am in Christ. And the last book that I wrote is Getting Started. It's a quick guide to become a self-published author. I created that book because people started coming to me and asking me, Chavonne, what did you do, or how did you do, to become a self-published author? So one day I said, okay, I'm gonna sit down and put this in writing to help people who are trying to, become a self-published author. So that's Getting Started, In Him Affirmations, and then The Adventures of Amelia Rose. Those subtitles are The Lie, Disappearance, and Father-Daughter Dance. And they can order those books at DNAofDiversity.com.
Okay, and you said, did you mention the other 2? Because you said that was a book series.
Yeah, so the Amelia Rose series is the Amelia Rose The Lie, Amelia Rose Disappearance, and Amelia Rose Father-Daughter Dance.
Okay,
so those are the 3 in the children's series. And then In Him Affirmations is a devotional, and then the Getting Started book.
Okay, I want to make sure everybody heard that. We're all about pushing. You know what I mean? Hey, we want to push until someone's harvest.
Yeah.
Just want to push so they can get it. You know how it is. The D is for detour. What bumps in the road have you faced that made you detour into a better route? Because sometimes you can think you're going somewhere and you see, even when you get turned around, you get mad until you realize, I'm glad that obstacle was there to make me, go another direction.
I can tell you my career has been a major detour. You go to school. I didn't finish college like normal kids finish school. So I started working. But you know how you have that sense of wanting more. I said, it's more for Chavonne. And so I have done, you read my bio, I worked in many industries. I thought at one point I was like, I'm going to be a salon owner because I was a licensed hairstylist. I was doing hair, but it was like, no, it was like I got stopped in the middle of those tracks. And everything just pushed me a totally different direction to where I got into more administration work. It was like I was going back to an early thought of childhood, being an educator, but I didn't really want to be in the school systems, but I was working in the ministry of education at church. And so everything has kind of come full circle now. Now, I wasn't happy with the bumps because the bumps mean there's some financial ups and downs with those bumps. And I'm still in that, I'm detoured into where I think is where I know I'm supposed to be. Now I'm just waiting on that elevation. So it's like all the puzzle pieces are like when you're playing dominoes, everything is following now in order versus something getting off course. So I believe that I'm in that path of where I'm supposed to be now. And it's incorporating a childhood passion of teaching. It's incorporating, I'm getting to train, I'm getting to do, coaching. So it's like I'm getting to do a lot of stuff that I thought I was going to do as a child, but I'm just doing it in a different arena, in a different way.
Okay. Yeah, you inspire me over here because life speaks to me through people and words.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always how it's written out. It's not always how it's spelled, but for me, it's how it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we're born, the babies make sounds, but you still understand them.
Mm-hmm.
But in the word, you mentioned puzzle, right? You got you in there, like for us, or it could be used.
Mm-hmm.
It means with PLE, you gotta make a plea for what can help us. That's what's gonna help you fit the puzzle.
Yes.
Together, because you could focus on the problems, but when you focus on the solution, that's how everything comes together.
So true.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that because you speaking life into me over here. Earlier you said I gotta share this other one with you. When you're talking about your books, you knew since the age of 6 that you were gonna write a book. So I wrote down that note because the word six has SI in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Spanish, that's for yes.
Yes.
And then you have an X, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't have success because we don't say yes to our unknown or have gifts.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share that with you. Just
Oh,
want
wow. That's powerful.
I know your thing is DNA of diversity, so I wanted to ask this question. Why is ethnicity and inclusion important in the global economy?
It was funny when I read that, I came up with the question. I said, how can a leader or business owner effectively serve any community if they don't include the community in the process? So I can't go into a Hispanic community and say I'm going to offer a service or a product, but I don't consult with that community. So that means I really don't know what they need and how I can, fulfill that need. So when you allow yourself to digest diversity and see the importance of it, it causes you to have an organization that has a high level of creativity, a high level of innovation. You gain greater respect of others when you're surrounded by others. We're ignorant of cultures because we're not in those cultures. And I can say that for myself. I'm from the South, and I'll tell anybody growing up, we were the black white divide, but it was just the norm here. So when I went to school in the South, I went to a predominantly black school. We had white teachers, but we really didn't have a lot of white students in the area that I was in. So I didn't know anything. I knew my just being black. When I moved as a teenager to upstate New York, my father's job transferred, and that was when I hit a culture shock because they would say we were the minority here, but I was really the minority up there because I moved to upstate New York. First of all, I never even heard of upstate New York. When we heard of New York, it was New York City. So when you move to upstate New York, Rochester area, and you're moving there and you are make up only 1% of your graduating class, it was a culture shock. And I didn't know how to at that time how to adapt to that culture because I was really what I knew of their culture really was negative in a sense because growing up in the South, it was just you knew what the whites had done to the blacks. So I was very ignorant of the culture. So how can I, as a business leader, take that and I'm going to go into an African American community or I'm going to go into a all white community and I'm ignorant of that culture. So when you begin to really, really study cultures and immerse yourself in cultures, you become more respectful. I don't say you agree with everything they do, but you become respectful of them. And then when you come together, if you can work together in a team, say you have someone from India, someone from Nigeria, you got somebody from the South, somebody from the North, but we're all coming together to collaborate on this great idea of this great product. Think of what everyone is going to bring to the table. Some of our experiences are going to be the same, but some of our experiences are going to be different. And when you see those differences and then you see the similarities, you realize, like the song says, we're all in the same boat, brother. We are in many ways. It's just we've tagged skin color and we've tagged age to it. We've tagged so much to it instead of tagging and said, let's just accept one another and then work together. So I hope that it kind of explained it a little bit. I think
You breaking it down. You breaking it down. It's a blessing. But ladies and gentlemen, if you just joining us, our guest on Prime Time is Chavonne D. Stewart. She's a diversity expert and the founder of DNA of Diversity. Check out our website at www.dnaofdiversity.com and you can follow her at DNA of Diversity. Mm-hmm. The next question is the E is for elder. Now, I read that you have a gift of intercessory prayer. Did I say it right?
Yes.
And how does that work with outreach? And how did you realize, you had tapped into, another source?
Well, I grew up in a Christian household, but I didn't recognize that gift until I was right at age of 30. I had rededicated my life back to Christ. I can just be real with you. I did. Whatever, it happened. And I was in discipleship class and they asked us to pray. Now, all the while, thinking, because I don't know how to pray, not realizing that gift was just been sitting there. I started to pray And I'm like, oh my God, that's the Lord speaking through me. That's how the Holy Spirit it was just upon me. And from there, I just sought the guidance of the Lord and I stepped into the ministry of intercession. And when it comes down to it, out of everything that I do, I believe that is my first call. And it helps along with outreach because I'm always praying. I have a weekly prayer call now that I've been doing for 7 years where I pray together with a group of sisters because I believe in the power of prayer. And I believe that we have the power through prayer to change atmospheres, to change environment. So that's kind of how you can tie it together. So I've been walking in that gifting now for over 10 years.
Okay, okay. And some you can call it I got a Derricknym for you and your sisters. You can call it praise.
All right.
Prays.
Okay.
Placing righteousness around your sisters.
All right. I like that. I'm gonna have to write that one down. Placing righteousness
around your sisters.
All right. Thank you. I love it.
Yeah, I just want to share that with you. So you speaking life into me. You know, when in order to get a blessing, you got to be a blessing.
There you go.
When it comes to me, I got to give it. You know.
There you are.
The R is for reading, and the reason why I worded this question right here because, you talked about the books that you wrote. Mm-hmm. In life, you're not gonna always, as you know, you're not gonna always be able to reach them in one way.
Mm-hmm.
You have to come back and reach them, and even if they don't want your book, you can say, "All right, here's another resource."
Mm-hmm.
Still connect you to them. So the more we can help other people, the more we'll be in position to be able to use our gifts. So I just wanted to say, as far as reading, because I read that you like to read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What type of books would you recommend for other people? Is there any certain books that you read that, maybe for the youth, maybe for college students, or maybe for professionals? Just trying to give them different sources. That's why I bring different guests on. You never know who's going to be the one that's going to open that door for your mind to be open.
Okay. So, when I was looking at this, I have read a lot of books, and I was trying to remember everything, some other stuff I read, especially with the youth, because some people put a hindrance on what the youth can do. I was like, you never know till you put the book in their hand, they make her understand it. But one of the books, because I'm a history person, I love history. For the youth, I recommended "While the World Watched" by Carolyn Maul McKinstry, and she was friends with the young girls who were killed in the Birmingham bombings in 1963. So she wrote on her experiences. She was one of the ones, she was in the church. It just so happened she just wasn't downstairs when the bomb went off. And those girls were her friends. So it's just giving her account of what it was like and how she felt about, losing her friends. And I think.
Can you get a name in the book again?
It's called "While the World Watched" by Carolyn Maul, Maull, McKinstry, McKinstry.
All right.
And I chose that book because I think a lot of times kids don't learn enough history in school. You have to know your past to understand where you are in your present to reach your future. And we're ignorant a lot of our past, and we think our past is all bad. But in the African American community, whether they realize or not, we have a lot of richness in our past. And I think our kids need to kind of understand and really know what has really happened in our past to understand where we are in our present. For college students, I have a lot. It was a favorite one that I read in college. It was called Kindred by Octavia E. Butler.
Whoa, stop. You said Kindred?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Get out of here. Wow. Go ahead, fam. I'm gonna tell you why in a second.
Okay.
I wrote that word down today for real.
Okay.
I saved it too.
Okay. Another one I just got this book, and I think it could be read by professionals and college students. It's called Barracoon by Zora Neale Hurston, and she's writing. Her book was finally published on the account of the last living slave. He was located in Alabama, so it's called Barracoon.
Like BARRACOON. Okay.
And then Night by Eli, I think it's pronounced Wiesel or Wiesel, Wiesel. And this was a young Jewish man who was captive, and I think he was in Auschwitz, and he's telling his story of the captivity of being, during the time of World War II. And then for professionals, I just recently read for my class. It's called Twice as Good by Dr. Mary Wardell. Since a lot of my my business is dealing with diversity, and so it's about women in leadership, and just being a woman of color in leadership, and how we always have to be twice as good, to be able to tap into those markets. And then I've read a couple of books by John Maxwell that I like. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and Good Leaders Ask Questions. Ask great questions.
Right. Hey, I appreciate those resources. Now I gotta tap into what you said earlier.
Okay.
Because words, like I said, I get ideas through words. And
okay.
And I wrote down kindred. They're like kindred spirit. And I typed it in my phone. I said the word kin, right, is in the word. So I said kin so that we could relate to each other. Right? So lock in to great together.
Okay.
So I with you. I wrote that what blew me away when you said kindred, because I wrote that word down, and that's the power, Hey, I appreciate you. And before we go, is there anything that we missed out on or that you would like to add?
No, I didn't put any. I could have put some biblical books. For those who are struggling in prayer, I recommend Dr. Miles Monroe, The Purpose and Power of Prayer. That's a great one to read as well.
Any you got any specials going on or anything you like to know people about what you're doing with your business to, because you never know who's listening, you never know, because it's live right now, but then when it tapes, then this is forever. People can learn from what you're saying here forever.
Okay. All right. So this is what I want to tell you. First thing first, if you have a dream, I want to tell you, don't give up on that dream. Like we said in my questions, they're going to be detours. But if you got that dream, you got that vision, as long as you keep putting action behind it, it will come into fruition. It's only when you sit it down and it only stays in your mind that it doesn't come into fruition. So you got to put some action behind that dream. Also, because I am a global leader, DNA of Diversity is a global leadership consultancy. I am offering 15-minute consultations for those who are in leadership. So I do corporate training, and then I also do one-on-one training. So if you're needing a one-on-one coaching, I'm here for you. If you need on the corporate level, I'm here for you. So I'm definitely offering 15-minute consultation just to, give you an opportunity to talk, to see, because everyone needs a coach. People need training. Even though you're working in position, you still need training. We all need development. We should be life learners. If you're still alive, you should be learning forever. So definitely, if you are interested in contacting me about a 15-minute free consultation, you can email me at hello@dnaofdiversity.com. Also, DNA of Diversity podcast, it is scheduled to launch on October 28th. And we will be doing it every Wednesday at 12 p.m. So I chose Hump Day because I said it's the midweek talk. People need that midweek encouragement. So definitely follow me on. It should be on all podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and Google. So I look forward to it. And you can search me. We're in the process of trying to get everything done at DNA of Diversity.
Okay, that's a blessing, ladies and gentlemen. Chavonne D. Stewart, and the D is for diversity.
Yes.
She's the founder of DNA of Diversity. Check out our website, www.dnaofdiversity.com. And you can follow her on all social media platforms at DNA of Diversity. Great day, because through the word ladder, we talked about leadership. How she is as an author, the different books. She gave you plenty of resources for her own books, as well as other books that you can read. She talked about the detour of her career and how she's an expert in diversity, a global diversity leader. She talked about her church background as an elder, helping her sense out what it is she needs to do. And she gave you the reading resources with the books. Great topics. So check her out. Check those topics, those resources out. And everybody can learn from everybody.
Sure can.
Like in the word diversity, the first sound is die. Some of your old habits have to die.
That's true.
Some friendships have to die. Those places you go to have to die. and the things you do have to fade away. Some things have to die for you to live. We late in the game in life, and people are dying out here for different reasons. So look at your dreams, like you said. You know, don't be a sitter, be a go-getter. Make it happen. That's all you can do is do your best. Don't take anything to the grave that could be alive on earth. And follow me, like I say, on all social media platforms at Anti-Chainer and even on Cash App. Great episode on Prime Tie, because the smaller things in life can quietly lead you to the bigger opportunities. And remember, like I say each and every time, that your words matter, your actions matter even more. And the things you say will be the only school that someone out there watching you and listening to you, that may be the only school that they ever see. So until next time, I thank you for your time. It's Zay Sanford at Zay Sanford Music. He brought us in, and he's going to take us out.
You will be amazed.